they don't have people coming to their job saying these nasty things. So, yeah, we definitely have to.
What if I told you that the WNBA's most significant player at the moment isn't just switching games, she is in possession of the league's whole joint financial future, due to Caitlin Clark's absence from the WNBA All-Star Weekend? The league didn't want you to know what had transpired. The cost of tickets fell, over 1 million fewer people watched. Individuals, suddenly, basketball wasn't the most talked about topic. It was money, not beliefs or stories. Hard figures. Tonight, we track the data trail that reveals a reality the WNBA has cautiously avoided and explains why Caitlin, the biggest financial delusion in the league, might have been destroyed by Clark's absence.
Viewership. How is it historic when it's like half of last year? Last year was nearly 4 million. How is it historic when it's like half of last year?
KC, ESPN was comparing this year's All-Star Game to 2023. Why? Why in the hell would they do that? I'll tell you why ESPN did this. This is another example of the mainstream media protecting the WNBA. This is another example of ESPN polishing the turd.
With this, the moment Caitlin Clark was officially ruled out of the All-Star Game, the market reacted swiftly. Economically, not emotionally, the average ticket price fell from over $120 to almost 48% in a matter of hours. Down to the middle of the $60 range. Such volatility associated with a single athlete is virtually unheard of in professional sports economics. This was not a gradual deterioration. It was a free fall and presented the league with a risky dilemma. If the absence of one player can eliminate, what does the product's overnight millions in value imply about the rest of it?
Their job saying these nasty things. So, yeah, we definitely have to.
There were other reactions outside the ticket market. TV also did. On average, the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, about 2.2 million people watched. It was marketed as a historic figure. Here's what wasn't highlighted, though. Compared to the year Caitlin Clark performed, there were more than 1.2 million fewer viewers. Regarding TV economics, losing more than 1 million viewers is not insignificant. It's a warning sign. Advertisers take note, sponsors take note, and networks fully take note.
Injured, Steph Curry could be injured, Kevin Durant could be in, and the prices still will not drop to be this low. $75? Folks, I'm sure there's some high school football teams down in Texas that charge you at least $75 to get to a home game. 3-point contest, ESPN, ABC, and Disney. Score the historic viewership for the 2025 WNBA All-Star events. Friday, July 18th, ESPN airs the most watched WNBA skills and 3-point contest ever, averaging 1.3 million viewers, which is up 89% versus last year's WNBA skills and 3-point contest.
Many outlets compared 2025 to 2023 rather than 2024. Why? Because Caitlin was a part of 2024. Clark, and if you draw that parallel, it becomes impossible to deny the decline. This isn't conjecture. It's framing. Specific context intended to mitigate a financial setback. However, spin is irrelevant to markets. Demand is important to them. Demand also made a very obvious statement. It wasn't at that precise moment.
With Angels. And I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill.
I was with you until that.
I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill.
The new fans are sucking
life from. Observe the pattern. The cost of tickets increases when Caitlin Clark performs. Every arena is sold out. Ratings soar. Prices plummet when she doesn't. Viewership declines. Interest wanes. This is not an attempt to downplay other players. It has to do with accepting reality. The WNBA's growth curve isn't balanced at the moment. It's focused. And it's dangerous.
WNBA players in their pregame warm-up came out in these t-shirts, "Pay us what you owe us." And then immediately pivoted to playing the worst All-Star game in the history of professional All-Star games. They took the court in t-shirts. "Pay us what you owe us. We're underpaid. This league has lost millions of dollars, but we're underpaid. Pay us what you owe us." And then they served up a doo-doo sandwich.
Players were openly calling for greater pay and income at the same time that these figures were plummeting. Shares, timing is important, but such demands are not irrational when discussions take place while It complicates matters because ticket pricing and viewership are clearly linked to a single player, since revenue sharing is only effective if income is steady. Additionally, the data points to an unsettling conclusion: the financial floor rapidly declines in the absence of Caitlin Clark. That's right.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game was the most watched program of the night across all of TV. The night, not the day. With 2.2 million average viewers, up 158% from the 2023.
Caitlin Clark must be simply another star for the league, because she is essential to the concept of equality and mutual development. Being interchangeable, however, messaging is not followed by economics. They pursue attention, and Caitlin gets attention. Clark.no press release can resolve that paradox. Whether Caitlin Clark matters is no longer the question. The argument is ended. Whether the WNBA adapts is the true question. Or keeps acting as though this dependency is non-existent, because pretending the statistics aren't real won't allow you to construct a future. Additionally, you cannot safeguard expansion by denying its origins. Caitlin Clark did not use words to reveal the league. By not being present, she revealed it. And often the loudest truth of all is revealed by absence. If you're interested in additional data-driven WNBA research, click subscribe. Because even when the league doesn't speak, the numbers do. What makes this circumstance truly? It's not only that Caitlin Clark's departure resulted in a steep decline in ticket prices or an abrupt loss of viewers. It's the understanding that the financial ecosystem of the WNBA seems far more precarious than anyone is prepared to officially acknowledge. Within the league, fans have been given a well-crafted narrative for years that no single player is responsible for the league's progress, which is robust, evenly dispersed, and organic. The industry, that the NBA has at last arrived at a stage where success is systemic and stars are interchangeable. However, that myth began to fall apart as soon as Caitlin Clark got off the ground, and the flaws quickly spread. The market responded with brutal honesty. The value of tickets was reduced by almost half. Millions of television viewers disappeared. The cooling of social involvement did not occur gradually. It took place right away. As though the league has lost its momentum, such a response does not indicate momentary disillusionment. It conveys reliance. Furthermore, no professional sports league ever wants the label dependency connected to their business strategy, because vulnerability is a result of dependency. It implies that upcoming agreements for media rights, salary negotiations, and sponsorship forecasts are based on assumptions that might not hold up in the event of an injury, exhaustion, or time. The most unsettling aspect is that this revelation was not the result of a scandal, a lawsuit, or a leak within. It originated from being absent. From quiet. From a single player's absence, and the quiet spoke louder more than any news conference could. A leak stuck between two realities was exposed. Point one, in which Caitlin Clark is essential to income and significance, and another in which the league sorely needs her to be seen as just another celebrity for ideological as well as structural factors. It is now impossible to overlook that paradox. Investors cannot be informed about the product is steady, but as soon as one name is eliminated, the numbers plummet. You can't argue for enormous profits sharing, despite proof that one person is producing a disproportionate amount of revenue. Additionally, you cannot establish enduring trust with supporters if the information is directly visible to them, contradicts the story that is being presented to them. This is not an attempt to undermine or place the blame on Caitlin Clark. Other participants. It involves facing an unpleasant economic reality that has been concealed by optimism and selective comparisons. The night Caitlin Clark missed the All-Star game didn't make the WNBA suddenly reliant on her. Play the game slowly, game by game, sellout by sellout, rating spike upon rating spike. That dependence had been growing. The issue wasn't brought on by her absence. It gave it light, and the longer the league refuses to accept that fact, the fallout becomes more hazardous. Due to the recollection of markets, fans eventually become impatient when they feel deceived, and sponsors have power. This is not merely an account of impact of a single player. It serves as a warning about what occurs when a league expands more quickly than its infrastructure can genuinely support and the consequences of disregarding that warning.